Assalamu alaikum and greetings to all of you and welcome to Gunjur Online. Once again, we are back to discuss issues pertaining our country. Anytime we have time, anytime we are free, we come and discuss current issues in the Gambia. And there are queues and long queue of issues that are cropping up in the country, albeit unfortunately, negatively. And here we are once again in Gunjur Online today to discuss issues pertaining to our development, pertaining to our lives, pertaining to our future. We are back again to discuss these issues because this is the only way forward for Gambians to come and clear their mouth, their heads, and discuss issues pertaining to the future of the country. The country is at the crossroad. Leadership is in crisis. Corruption is everywhere. Is cascading, and thievery, banditry, drugs, and you name it, is invading the spaces of the Gambia and negatively impacting on the future of the country and the stability of the country. We are here, Gunjur Online, to discuss these issues. As always, what we do, we have experts, people who are unbiased, who discuss issues based on their expert knowledge. And here we are once again in the sons, credible and very, very important son of Gambia in the name of Sulayman Ben Suwareh, who is unbiased in his analysis, who discuss things based on how they are for the benefit of the Gambia. I know a lot of people are there who are not happy because he's saying this truth, but we are praying to God so that he can live longer with us, so that he can be unbiased and discuss Gambian issues based on the merit for the country, no matter who that favors. So once again, greetings to you, Brother Ben, my respected brother, and welcome back to Gunjur Online, your platform. Once again, bro, say hi to people and greetings to you once again.
Thank you very much, Ebrima, for your kind words. It's always a pleasure to come on the platform, our platform, Gunjur Online platform, to have these fruitful discussions for our national interest. Thank you very much, Ebrima.
Thank you, Brother Ben. Once again, we are indebted to you. What we learned from you, I didn't learn it from university, and I'm not learning it anywhere else so far concerning Gambians. When it comes to the history of the country, where it comes from, sometimes young people are not savvy of those informations. You bring them out and compare things. But what stands out, your consistency, for the sake of the Gambia, just touches my heart, really speaking. And I am so tight, working, family, and all those things. How you are doing this, going around, wasting, using your energy, your time. You could have relaxed and all those things, but you are crisscrossing all over the place. And a lot of Gambians appreciate that, even though we have very few minorities who are not happy based on their selfish interest. Brother Ben, we are seeing the lines in the Gambia again, to misinform Gambians. We are seeing dangerous, incendiary, divisive, and heartbreaking remarks, from the top man of the country. That's the president once again. And anytime he goes out to meet the so-called farmers, to meet the ordinary people, especially when he used local languages, Mandinka and Wolof. He become charged, and the only thing that he does, normally what we will be thinking this time of the year, the president probably not even go around, but when you go around, you are going to talk about the fertilizers, the farming, to give hope to the farmers so that we can give them motivation to work hard, and at the end of the day, they will get what they deserve. But no, the president came out and inciting violence, and the president that comes out and start attacking his opponents as always, and most of the time, Brother Ben, anytime these things happen, something happens, somebody become a victim, somebody get arrested. Anytime president charge himself attacking his opponent, telling his party supporters that we are the party in the government, we can do whatever they want. We have queue of people that have been victimized. The Alaji Bora, the comedian, the Alaji Mohammed, the Sabali, Momodu Sabali, the journalists. We can name them. And also we have all those people, Madi Jobate specifically, a very good son of the country, and many people. And this time around also, we have, after these remarks, we have Ebrima Diba, who is also fall victim because of witch hunt that the president, as always, we are kind of used to it. And as far as I know, Ibrahim is still in behind the bar. He is still detained, for some reason. But Brother Ben, why is President Barrow doing this? And why UDP specifically all the time? And why is the country kind of not even coming out, and so they are disregard for all these divisive politics that the president himself is perpetrating? Some people are saying, no, the president is not aware of some of these things. Brother Ben, give us a thought, to give us the environment, what is pushing the president to charge himself, to come out with lies and arresting somebody to waste their time. Go ahead, Brother Ben.
Thank you very much, Ebrima, for inviting me again, and for the introduction you have done with this incident that is ongoing, which is not, as you just put it earlier, it's not something new. And it's not that it's not new with Barrow, but it's not new in our politics, especially during the dictatorship. And I tell you, a bit of this it actually happened in the First Republic, but let's just cut it short so that we can cover ground here. And if you want to understand how, when an individual take a decision, if you want to understand the decision, you have to try to understand what informed that decision. It's important to understand what's informed that decision. Now, if you look at President Barrow, the people he have around him, what's their mindset? What do they think? What's their track record? They are the same people that, empowered the dictatorship. They are anti-democratic. They are psychopaths. They will do anything. They will do anything to keep their position. They will do anything to save an environment or situation so that they can benefit, because that's the only way they can be relevant. That's the only way they can gain what they have now, privileges or whatever you call it, jobs or whatever you call it, in a normal environment they would not have. And it's interesting that you have named people who have been victim of this. But today, some of those victims are right around Barrow himself. Dr. Sisi is one of the first victims of Barrow.
Yes.
He went out there, shouted angrily, and so and side that Gambians never thought he had. But not only that, Dr. Sisi was invited to the police station and he was detained, and people had to come out. But it's the same Dr. Sisi witnessing this. Sabali, not long ago, went through the same experience, to the extent of trying to frame him to be a part of a coup d'etat. Madi Jabate, as you said, his case is still pending. And we all know he has not committed any crime for that matter. And we can go on and go on. What does that tell you? It's systematic, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
We cannot turn around to say the president did not know. But it's part of their operational system, just as it was a part of the operational system of the dictatorship. If you can see that the other reason for this is the president is absolutely corrupt. The president have absolutely failed Gambians. Now, the only way he can continue would be for continue to keep Gambians in the dark. He will not want Gambians to be aware. He will not want Gambians to discourse. He will not want Gambians to be united for their common good. He won't want that. And this is why they apply the strategy that they do now. And remember, recently he went on to pay off journalists for 40 million.
Yes.
Alaji, those are the payments in the open. There are other payments they do from their coffers or through their patrons who retain press houses or activists or so-called activists or civil society, these things to act in a way and manner. And Alaji is not new in political history, discourse, dictatorships. This is what Macky Sall have applied. And it's the same playbook. It's not invented by Macky, but it has been going on since the beginning of time. Situation changes a bit because of society have evolved. That's why it's very difficult for him to hold things tight. There's leakages everywhere, and people, there's nothing like dominance of dominating the media, because social media is here today. The president, as I said, or Adama Barrow, as I said, it's not particularly hating on any particular person or group. What he hates is those people that hold him accountable. And an example of that is Dr. Cisse. Why did he accept Dr. Cisse in his midst? Why would he accept Sabali in his midst, who have criticized Adama Barrow more than Sabali within a span of a year? Nobody. But today he has rewarded them,
yes,
and give them a lifestyle that they aspire for in order to keep them quiet. If UDP has said that, oh, we're coming to support you now, let's reconcile on whatever you want to do, I can tell you, you'll be surprised. If we can entertain Fabakary Tombong and others, Sidinjai and others that prevented him or tried to prevent him from power, that tells you the character of the person we have. He is only interested in what he gets from it. He doesn't have empathy for Gambian people. He doesn't have love for Gambians, and he doesn't care about sovereignty. His intellectual capacity is below par. That's why he cannot understand what it means to be a sovereign leader. For him, he wants what situation we had before. And right now, the other reason is he is right in the corner now. He has been exposed for the amount of corruption he has done. But as always, people like him, because they are not going to end well, instead of trying to fix the situation, he's aggravating the situation by now not only committing economic crimes, now he's continuing to commit human rights abuses. Because of what he wants is to silence Gambians entirely. That's why I said it's not against UDP alone. Yes, I know he's targeting UDP, and I'm going to explain that. He would go against any Gambian. If I have landed today in the Gambia, I'll be arrested for committing no crimes. If President Adama Barrow is brave to invite me in the Gambia, I'll pay to go to court with him in a civil court. Because if I have anything against, if I have done anything, would be something directly to him. And if he wants to go to civil court, I am ready. But he will not do that. He's a coward.
Ben, this place is so important because people might say Ben is exaggerating this, but you are not saying this. This is based on facts, just inside informations. He openly they attacked you. We know you were in the Gambia. They were saying Ben is here. We should do this to him. We should do this. But of recent, they had a meeting in Mankamankunda.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
And go ahead. So these things are not fabricated. Ben is not just fabricating these things.
I don't need to. No.
You don't. Go ahead. Go.
The situation arises here. Now, Adama Barrow has found himself to the latter part of realizing that what he has been promised, it's not real. It's impossible. When he first came to power, it was, I keep on saying this, it was in Dakar that he started to, he was hijacked, captured for him, so that this same people who were around Janneh, I don't only mean SeneGambia and others, I mean the business people, the crooks and everything else, hijacked him. That's where it was negotiated. And for him, it was, let me try with UDP. If UDP would allow me to stay in power, UDP can do whatever they want. I just want to be wealthy, rich. If that fail, I will default, get APRC to back me. That's what it was. Now, they promised that you can be rich, you can have this, and serve 2 times or even 3 times. But now they want him out. The same people who were with him want him out. Now they are in agreement. In 2018, they did propose for him to marry a Senegalese wife. And a Sarahule wife, I don't want to name the family because it did not happen. He went against that, but that was all part of his future exit strategy.
So, Brother Ben, this is serious. So since day one, they've been trying to get it out for him to the case, because they know, how they capture him, he's going to be corrupt and all those things, even to the extent that, proposing him to marry a 3rd wife.
Yeah. Wow. You see? And his investment, his lawyer was Swift Tambedu. I'm not going to go into details, but when they had the negotiations, they had to convince the money, an account belonging to Yaya Jammeh that was in Hong Kong, controlled by Amadou Samba. They made a deal for Senegal to withdraw that money to Amadou and make a deal so that Amadou would not go. They would not go after Amadou. And going after Amadou means they would not go after Yaya Jammeh assets outside the Gambia. And this is the reason. It's the only government that would change a dictatorship and would not go for the assets outside the Gambia.
Wow. And
$10 million. That's why people who said that time, there was this rumor, Macky Sall gave Adama Barrow $10 million. No, it was from an account. Now, obviously, Senegal kept the rest, but people who were present must have shared of that money. Mm-hmm. And we know people who came back to the Gambia and bought property from those proceeds. And when a government changed, those things were going to be challenged. You see, that was his motivation to be wealthy. Mm-hmm. And this is the government we had. He doesn't care about anything. He will bring people around. He doesn't care about the delivery or anything else. It's first, what would I get from it? And with evidence. We have seen the case of the hotel that was meant to be built for the OIC. It was already negotiated with Saudi to sponsor everything and all. He went and accepted a gentleman from Senegal, who is now being exposed in the courts for narcissist years. Because of the deal, what he was promised, he abandoned a safe and win-win situation that he was not going to get a cut for shares or whatever it is. He went for the Senegalese. Now Gambia was deprived. He went for the fund from the Hadim Gai project in Banjul. He would be paid kickbacks directly to him, that they will launder the money, and the other money would be paid to the upkeep of the NPP. That's why NPP become one of the wealthiest parties in Africa for that matter. They don't have problem with money. But that's why Gambia government become the poorest government in Africa. 4 billion deficit. Because of all these projects consumed by Gambia government are overpriced. We have seen the roads and everything, and on the value and kickbacks being paid to Adama Barrow and to the party structures. Now, the reason he is targeting UDP because UDP is the biggest and likely to challenge him to win him in an election. Look at the election results. Which party have the district? Now, what he's doing now is not only attacking UDP, but attacking UDP is a strategy.
Wow.
Because remember, there's a lot of bad blood that have run after the coalition split, or even during the dictatorship within political parties.
Yes.
Which have its history, in fact, in our political history and continued, but became worse after the coalition. Now, it's a matter of if I go for UDP, the rest will be watching and probably even hoping that the rest will be happy that I'm going for UDP, because nobody will come to the rescue of UDP. UDP have to be facing me alone. In this sense, Gambian democracy is undermined because of the only prominent party. The rest of the opposition will be divided. And before we know it will be around elections, there's no other opposition that have the chance or threat to win an election. Then if he's only with the UDP, and the strategy will be accelerated with continue to paint UDP being tribals or being violent. We have the same game plan in Senegal. That's why at the latter part, always Macky Sall went for the threat. First, he went for Karim, because Karim was the threat. Karim, he dealt with Karim, who came next. Khalifa Saleh of Senegal went for him. Then, the other political parties, he all bought into, bringing them into government. Left with Pastef, who refused to be bought. And guess what? We have seen the brunt. We have witnessed that we have never seen in Senegal. Over 100 people killed in other, and the party dissolved, and members of the leaders of that party in prison, almost half of them in prison. And because of we all know wasn't a fault of Pastef, but because of Pastef was a threat to Barrow for Macky Sall, and it is. This is the situation we are facing today. And when it was happening to Pastef, civil society stood aside because most of them were bored, and the other politicians stood aside because for them, if Pastef dissolved or whatever it is, they are going to pick the Pastef base and in order to contest. This is what is transpiring in the Gambia right now. Now, after the OIC summit, or during the course of the OIC summit, they had a very bad press. They struggled to explain the failures of the OIC. And Dr. Lamin Mane, for that matter, stood out when Ebrima Silla challenged him, and he drowned Ebrima Silla in the mud where he belongs with facts, and went on different platforms and denounced the corruption and the inaptitude of this government, and others did the same. The situation became tense. Then the Freedom Radio had an interview with Dr. Sall, and that opened another can of worms, because it went to the executive itself. And that's when they called an emergency meeting first. I got the information straight to my inbox. I forwarded it to Freedom, this thing, and a few other people. And that situation there, They said that they need to do something to shut this down because they were losing popularity. Now, it was not only the entire, it's like the entire Gambia are kind of waking up and criticizing him for the failures that have witnessed. We have the waiters, that kind of demonstrate to get their money. We had the drivers, we had the protocol officers. There's someone in the background. We had the protocol officers. Now, when they did the meeting, it was a matter of what strategy they can apply. They went on to their tour. After a few days of the tour, still they said that coverage wasn't met, and they were Barrow was not really happy. And in that meeting, one of the members of press members that was paid the 5 million plus was in that meeting, and Barrow said, "Oh, the what they paid for is not paying dividend because still." And I can tell you one thing: Barrow have got to the level of Yaya Jammeh now. He's monitoring. He's been fed by everything that goes on social media. That's why he responds the way he responds. He's aware. It's not about someone listening and briefing. It's a matter of him watching it or getting the audios and listening to the audios. That's why he's conversant about everything in detail that's happening on social media. Now, when they had the meeting in that place, UDP was the main target.
Wow.
And Dr. Lamin Mane was the main target. He was really angry about that. And to the extent of Barrow was technically could not, when he's really angry, breathing was a problem. Then I was another person that Barrow named in passing.
Wow.
That I am attacking him and I'm attacking people around him. I did not insult Barrow.
No.
I did not attack him personally. But he knows because he is really furious that the likes of Mohammed Jah, the likes of Hamadija, the likes of Mohammed Silla and others, they are all held to account. Tell me which other platform, tell me which other media have you ever had them go after Mohammed Jah or anything, or all this corruption going on?
No, none of them.
No vehicles. When the government have declared that or they order 100 vehicles, Mohammed Jah delivered 87 vehicles, and today no journalist is out there to question where it is missing 13 vehicles. The pricing mechanism, the specifications that they asked for, everything was flawed. But there's no journalist to do that. Barrow obviously would not like that. And from this briefing, that's where they strategize and put up a message how to go about it. Because remember too, I don't know if somebody, because I'm not hearing everybody.
Yes.
I have principally from last year keep telling Gambians that Barrow is not likely to run, and I've been giving my reason for that. And I've pointed out that there are 3 camps within the NPP who are competing. The APRC, the UDP, and Mohammed Jah and Yankuba Dabo of GRA, their team. And obviously Barrow doesn't like this because Barrow is looking for a way out now.
Right.
Now the way out is kind of difficult because of Senegal is not likely an option anymore.
Yes.
Where else would Barrow go to? That we already got that information somewhere else they're looking at, but we are not going to bring that out yet. We're still looking at some evidence that we have been presented. He is looking out for another. Do you know why he's looking out for another place?
No, go ahead, bro.
Guess what they want fail. Because Barrow doesn't want to leave Gambia. Because leaving Gambia is costly. Any country you go, you become hostage. Your taxes, you'll be isolated, and it's kind of a difficult situation. The point is he wants to make sure he's guaranteed his freedom after governance. And I can tell you one day, if you hear that Barrow is reaching out to UDP, don't be surprised.
Wow.
Don't be surprised. Just as the latter part, Maki didn't have any other way but to reach out to Pastif.
Yes.
Don't be surprised about that. There's already thinking about on that. But now they're trying to manage the situation. It's a matter of let's try and get UDP. If we can dismantle UDP, weaken UDP, then there'll be no opposition. Then Mohammed Dia and Yankuba can win an election. Not only win an election, he can trust them because they all have eaten from the same bowl. That they will not go after him. This is where it is now. We have seen the evidence that Mohammed Dia is building a house in Fajara, land owned by government, and still not clear. How did Adam Barrow access that land?
So is he building that land for Adam Barrow?
Yes. For the property now is transferred to Adam Barrow. How did that property got transferred? These are things that we need to find out. Secondly, not only that the property is transferred, Mohammed Dia is actively, participating or overseeing that building. Who is paying for the building? Yes. Is it from the source of kickbacks or not? These are all things that are going on. Tell me anywhere in the Gambia you have, people tell you. In the Gambia, they know. Yes. It's not a secret. There's a PIU, security all around the property. Now, this is the situation now. Now, that's why they went on to the political rally. It's a political rally, it's not a talk. Which is, again, an abuse of our democracy.
Yes.
Using resources to politic government. Now, he went out there and straight away went for the talk about the third term issue to deflect, because now it's a known fact. Now he to deflect, I am going to run. And now the same, listen to it properly too, he went for Lawyer Dabo.
Yes.
I'm going to run against Lawyer Dabo. But again, he knows that there's a pool within UDP, then he went for Talib. The North Kote, it was intentional. You see, trying to raise, Talib, I know Talib is going to take over from you now to anger Yanks Dabo, to anger Lamin Sane, to anger all the potential contenders. You see, that will bring a split within UDP. Now, when he said all this, he went on to incite violence.
Yeah.
Onto who? People that would be against him. And who are those people against him? Mainly UDP and some of us outside of the Gambia. He said, and some people like Madi Jobasi, he said, and we should take it seriously, as you stated earlier.
Yeah.
Whenever he made this threat, something will happen.
Something will happen, yes.
The president, the Barrow went on to say that, why are you guys afraid or such? Go out there, fight out there, and you will take care of it. The last time he made that statement was during the mayoral election.
Yeah.
What happened? His own nephew, went out with a gang and attacked Nene Freda Gomez and the Tali team, and nothing came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we should take it seriously. But he was not only addressing the NPP militants that would go and attack. He was addressing the institutions under him. He has said it, the police is mine.
Oh, yes.
The economic, this is mine. He was addressing them, don't be afraid. And whatever comes out of it, I'll deal with it. Nothing will happen. And the former Inspector General of Police, who is now an IGP, went to Parliament committee and said why some of these people were not disciplined, because next time they will not they will not obey the orders. He said that plain. Now what do we expect? You see, this is the reality. This is what is happening. We are seeing it. And as I said, he has been successful in this, just as Jawar was successful in eliminating any threat by painting them as tribalists or painting them as communists, when it was worse to call someone a communist than a tribalist. We have seen that with, Jawara did that to, Jawara government did that to,
yeah.
Jawara government did that to Sirif Diba. Jawara government did it to Assam Sar Kamara, who was a vice president twice. Under him, they treated him as a full nationalist. Twice under him. Sirif Diba was a vice president under him. Founding member of a party with him. He did that to young politicians of the PDIs.
Yeah.
Call them communists. That they don't believe in God. That they believe in sharing everything. They will even share your wives, your farm, your cattle. And imagine in those days, what would that do to a Gambian side?
Yes, definitely. If you have 3 wives, they will take 1 wife from you.
You see, this is the reason now that the opposition, rest of the opposition are keeping quiet. They're thinking that it's an opportunity for them, which would really, because, let them come out to tell us why are they quiet with all this.
Brother Ben, that's what I don't understand. This is becoming UDP all the time. Barrow beating the donkey that he think UDP is sitting on. All other politicians, sometimes lightly, Mama Kande comes and wade in a little bit and does it, but not forcefully enough. Because when Barrow attacked Mama Kande himself personally, we saw what he did. He went back his constituency, and we saw the response. But the opposition leaders are not doing anything. They're not seeing Gambia's interest, even the divisive politics, the incitement of violence and all those things. Not the not the civil societies, not any media, not our human rights commission, nothing.
No, everybody. Let me give you an example of this. Let me give you an example of the civil society.
Yes.
John Charles Jai, leader. He was part of Tango. I'm not sure whether he's still with Tango. He's a friend of Madi Jabate.
Yes.
All these people went behind the scenes with CDCC and others to say that they are organizing a dialogue. And I said that it's all planned to maneuver around UDP. What happened? John Charles Njai went to the dialogue and everything and talked about the Madi Jabate still. And how many people came out to defend Madi Jabate? But even when Madi Jabate is in trouble, what did they say? He's a sympathizer of UDP.
Yes. That's what I said. But then I know some people will even, make you a sympathizer of UDP because anybody who comes and take, all right.
They always do. They always do. But that doesn't face me. You see, you don't allow people to dictate you.
Yes.
Or then you become a coward. I say, what if I want to join a party? What will stop me?
Nothing.
When it was before the election that everybody hoped UDP, many people jumped to join the UDP or show their loyalty to protest their loyalty to UDP, thinking they're going into government.
Yeah, but Brother Ben, I know people who were calling people so that they can have this connection with Usainu because thinking that there's no way UDP is going to sweep the poll. Yeah. And they were positioning themselves just to be in the position to get positions, but we know not you, Brother Ben. Greetings our viewers all over the place, Nanding and Janding and Omar Loom. Thank you for your comments. Anyway, we just want to give Brother Ben a lot of space today to do a lot of analysis, But once again, viewers, what we are discussing is the future of the Gambia. We all know what is going on, and we know our president is compromised. He's corrupt to the neck, and he cannot get out of that. The only people that he depends on for his survival, or he think can save him, is the APRC. There is no restructuring in the country. There is no reform in the country. Everything remains the same, or even worse now in the Gambia, for the detriment of our young people, for the detriment of our people who are sick on a daily basis. People are dying because there's nothing in the hospital. Even the cotton or bandage that they use, that is used to dress people, are not there. But anybody, no matter how you insult President Barrow, example of Dr. Cisse, who is in a lying mission now to do Gambians, Sabali, and you can name them and name them and name them. they are getting richer within short period of time, and Gambia is getting poorer and poorer and poorer again. Only a few people openly comes out and openly challenge, not for the sake of any individual or political party, but their conviction that what is going in the Gambia is wrong, is not right. And any of them that stood out to discuss things that is going to enlighten people and challenge the fabrication to dupe the Gambians so that the Gambians can understand, they come after you one way or the other. And probably this is why they are after UDP as a political party, because there are other political parties there. They are just keeping quiet. That's why Barrow is not going against them. Anytime they raise anything else, he will come out and attack them. We saw it when Khalifa was a little bit active at some point. He went hibernating and he came out talking about Barrow personally. Go after him because that time he was active saying things. And so anybody that comes out to discuss...
remember the parliamentary election when he wanted this seat in Woolly. He went and insult.
And insult Sidia, yes. Exactly. So this is what is at stake here. Gambians, as Omar says, need to wake up. Omar Lum, thank you for your piece, and see that Barrow is not benefiting the country, and he's driving that country more and more into an abyss that it will be very difficult if we reach there to get out ourselves. And that's why Brother Ben stood out for me, because we've been following him since Yaya Jammeh's time consistently. If he want position today, we know how that game will going to play, but no. And then don't tell me he's not busy. He's too busy for him to come here, and he has his families and all those things. But this is what he believed. This is what God designed him to do, and he's doing it perfectly. So, Brother Ben, and how are these going to impact on UDP? Is it going to make them popular? Is it going to make them relevant? The internal differences in UDP is going to enhance them because Barrow is battering them, attacking them, putting their people behind the scene. How is this going to play on them? And if we compare this to Pastif, because what they went through is unbelievable. How they cope, how they manage, the core people stay together, and they develop thick skin, and to the extent that the president Macky Sall has to go for them and plead and crawl for them in essence, but they didn't accept it. And how are this going to impact on UDP? And how do you think they're going to respond? Go ahead.
Let me tell you something about what part of their strategy.
Yes.
Okay, for them, the Ebrima Diba's response, we're going to deal with it in detail.
Yes.
Now, when Ebrima Diba responded, which probably they would even anticipate, now they have a perfect opportunity. Because what they're doing is they identify Ebrima Diba or the associated Ebrima Diba, or most people, in fact, within UDP, identify Ebrima Diba of supporter of Talib candidature.
Okay.
This is a fact within UDP. Now, going after Ebrima Diba, for them, they are anticipating that Young's Davos group would not come to defense, would not be working hard, and the Talib group would see that because they're looking at those things. And the Lamin Sanes group would be looking at it as an opportunity. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. This is what people are thinking. You see, and it can be a catalyst for a split. You see my position. This is one of their calculus. What they have not calculated, and I hope that UDP will calculate that. This is the time for them to, keep their ranks closer. Because after Ebrima would be someone else if they let it happen. Yes. That's how they were doing with Pasif. It's one after the other. Any potential leader they thought Janneh was a potential leader. Janneh has not breaking any law. But for a tweet or a statement he wrote on Facebook, he was kept and later accused of terrorism and everything else. Because they know the inside of Pasif, and they know that Janneh would likely be a candidate for Usman if he doesn't run. Now they're looking at this within the specs. And I can tell you here today, unless something change, what I heard from them, that they have something on Talib for the commission.
Oh,
Now,
right.
these are one of the reasons why the commissions are getting delayed as much as possible. A commission that was meant to last 4 months have gone over a year now.
Yes.
Because when what they wanted at the beginning was so that it have impact at the local government,
And the
but
local
because of the
electoral.
challenges, it could not have that impact and start. Now they are delaying it to get closer. If you look at the specs now, Rahimal Glow is no more attracted. In fact, I mean, she's fraternizing with them more than she's fraternizing with UDP. They have neutralized that situation. Now, according to them, that they have something on time. Because investigators have already got there, and now they think there's something, whatever it is, they can hold on to deter Talib or to distract Talib. This is the situation we are facing. It's a matter of doing everything to this man. You have seen the kind of, you have seen the aggressiveness of trying to buy out Sabali, buy out anybody, I mean, that they can to bring it down. It's all in preparation for 2026, so that Barrow can go and retire and they keep their loot and determine their decision.
And he can be in the Gambia. You remember they went for Bajamba Bojang and aggressively, the aggression you are saying, and I know some things that are not in the open. If some other things don't play, they will have get him. Yeah, they will. Yes, they will have get him. Greetings to you, Moro Kamara, and all the viewers who are watching us. Once again, share the programs, and the whole purpose is for us to be enlightened, and not be following and sleeplessly, sleeplessly follow this government's narrative, because Gambia is at stake here. This is not about UDP's problem. This is not about individuals' problem. This is not about Kerifatu or Keri UDP, how they call it. This is not about Ben's problem. What is happening in the Gambia, everybody knows that. Only a clique of people are enjoying so-called. Majority, about 99% of that country is suffering, and they shouldn't suffer. The resources that are there, the tax that are people, the hardworking youths that are there can transform that country if we have the leadership that we deserve, the leadership that have vision, that is going to unite people, not divide people because they want to protect their loot. That is what is happening. Brother Ben, we see the entire governorship core of the Gambia is changed. Overnight, one can say, after a legal challenge from the opposition leader, UDP. That's why Barrow will be very angry with UDP. And UDP is very, very active. They are talking. Yes, they're still not doing everything, but they are active. They are going here. They are running there. Their people are being attacked and all those, and they didn't give up. 22 years on the Yaya Jammeh, what they went through is an experience that is open to anybody or everybody who want to see. And now also, not only they are politically, they are challenging the government, but legally, some of the things that are wrong, fundamentally wrong against our constitution, are those that are happening. And now Barrow has preempted those things and changed because probably he think, maybe he's gonna lose that case. What should the UDP do? And what impact will this have on UDP in terms of, to make them relevant, in terms of, also their political future, because everybody is keeping quiet, all other politicians. If they come like the eve of election, you want to come now, do you think people should listen to them? Should UDP stop from pursuing this case? Because I think they need a decision for this case. But the people who have been DPS, should they be DPS? The governors who are there, they just siphon them to somewhere else. It's just chaos, Brother Ben. What is your thought on these things anyway? What is happening?
Obviously, that's why I said that he is mad with UDP, because there's no other person taking Barrow government to court. And remember, I used to say that those things needed to be done. And remember, there's other legal this thing already filed against presidential advisors and others.
Yeah.
Now they are going to dismantle the structure that Barrow have put in order to control situations in his favor. Because of Barrow disregards the interests of Gambians. He would not mind to put incompetent people if he thinks that those are his relatives or that those are people that will serve him, his interests, regardless of what that will do to our economy or to our country. In the case of Gambia, the agriculture, you have seen that. Now, all these governors, go and look at their names. They are all connected to Barrow, personally. People he knows, people who he knows before becoming president, people who is related to, people who are friends. These are the governors he elected, and deputy governors. It's political. It's nepotism. But he doesn't care. What's the background? Can they? That was wrong. What we used to call commissioner governor, it's an administrative. It's part of the extension of central government.
Yeah.
Now, they are part of the civil service. There's a way, there's an entry requirement if you want to join the civil service.
Yeah.
Be a clerk or whatever it is, and there's a hierarchy, and that hierarchy have to be followed. When become a clerk to get into assistant secretary, principal secretary, deputy permanent secretaries, or principal secretary to governor or commissioner, then to deputy permanent secretary to so on and so forth. He disregarded all that. He just continued what Janneh was doing. Then he got challenged. Now, obviously, he has indications through the courts that they're going to rule against the thing. Then he tried to launder the situation, to clean the situation. But this is even muddling the waters more. Because the people that he's sending to these things will create more damage where they're going, because they don't have the competency, they don't have the entry requirements to be permanent secretaries.
Yes.
Ebrima, you have a master's. Even if you have a doctorate today, you cannot just go and occupy permanent secretary. There are other considerations to become a permanent secretary or deputy permanent secretary. These are the accounting officers of the ministries. Imagine if they are defected. They are not competent. How are you going to deliver these policies? He doesn't care. Now, it's still illegal. It might need a different lawsuit, but the present lawsuit, as I mentioned, UDP had to follow it through because it's about accountability. They need that accountability to go through the courts and be recorded. To be recorded, they should not allow Barrow to preempt that. The same case happened with the Rambo and others, ambassadors who were executive officers, political.
Yes.
The minute they realize that they're going to lose the case again, it's very clear. What did they do? They said they resigned from their positions. But UDP should continue that as well. And I can tell you it's very likely the same thing would happen with the so-called advisors, because there's no provision for them to be appointed in that manner. That's why many wrongs should be challenged. And whatever the verdict comes out with, Gambians will be satisfied with it. At least we have tested the courts.
Yeah, Brother Ben, I've talked to a lawyer who is saying there's a lot of issues in that local government things, that are not right, because that the whole department cannot be run by the local government act or whatever when you have the constitutions and all those things. So it's just, and what I'm saying, we have other peoples in the country that should challenge, what is wrong through the court. But as we said, many people are still quiet. They kind of, what is going on. So all credit to UDP in that sense.
Just to explain that bit that the lawyer is pointing out.
Yes.
Remember, there was a case against Janneh against Pasala Janneh.
Yes.
Former independent mayor. There's a review on that.
Yeah.
And the independent mayor won that case. Then that forced Janneh to go and amend the Local Government Act. And if you look at the Local Government Act, there might be positions that they are anti-democratic.
Yes.
And if you take that to a court, they would rule to their favor. Remember when Talib and the other mayors and then went to the court and won?
Yeah.
Because it was part of those amendments.
Yes.
They were anti-democratic. That people elected, you have to cut their term. That was done by Janneh. But I mean, it was challenged. You're quite right.
Yeah. So yes, it should not be only UDP, and they're doing their best. Other people to do, but Ben, there's a great silver lining here for the government. I saw Mamadou Sabali and MPP supporters are boasting that the country's GDP grew by 5.3% in 23, up from 4.9% in 2022. This was the World Bank Africa, whoever they are, because kind of anybody who was following politics during Yahya Jammeh's time, anytime the GDP is growing, anytime and all those things. But there's the stabilization of our physical and debt management is abhorrently bad, and the boosting of revenue collector, only few people are being taxed, the small people are being taxed, and the rich people are getting away with it. I saw your analysis of Dr. Salah and the hospitals and all those things, and Jeng, whose income, most of them are not being taxed. They manipulate it in a way that all the benefits, there is no tax, and the amount of money that is taxed out of hundreds of thousands of salaries is just peanut. And when you see there's instability, there is unemployment and all those things, this for some reason might be the UN Africa. I don't know what what lens they are watching Gambia from, but definitely what is going in that country is dire. To say the GDP is growing, maybe it's growing for only the clique of people, the NPP, who are very, very rich now, and President Barrow, who is claiming that he has about nearly, is it 250 to 450 million in his account? Probably. Then what is your thought about this, this UN Africa report that came out? Government is celebrating it anyway. That will be good for Gambia if it can reflect on our country. But go ahead, brother.
And again, you see, I don't like referencing positive all the time. Because what they did is not like they invented it. It's common sense. And if all the people who have studied political histories, events, and everything else, or governance, will tell you that if your sovereignty is dependent on other people to dictate their economic management, you're not going to be progress, but you are going to be dependent on them. If you borrow my mind to think, to act, you continue to be enslaved by me. All these Bretton Woods institutions are designed for everything. All the countries that have prospered, if you look at the tiger economy, Malaysia and others,
yeah.
What have they done different? They ditch most of this advice or programs and everything. If you read the economic hitman, tells you exactly how they operate, how they keep countries poor, countries which are supposed to be wealthy because they have all the resources to be wealthy, but they will manipulate them for them to be dependent and to be debt ridden and to rely on them so that their policies would be dictated to them. GDP growth based on what? The areas they're pointing out is a big fraud. It's contradicted. The gross domestic, this thing, they said stabilizing physical and debt management. How can that be true when you are, you have a budget deficit of 4 billion?
Yes.
How can that be true?
And all the debt that we have, how many percent of our GDP, the debt ratio to the GDP?
How much we pay? What is our trade balance? Are we exporting anything? No.
No.
How can you count that as productivity when you are not producing, you are not manufacturing? In development is to produce, manufacture, services. That's what it's about. Which of these are we doing well? What's happened to our tourism sector?
It's almost dead.
What's happened to all those microeconomic sectors dependent on each other? The airport and all those other things, the banks and other things. How can you justify this? You justifying your growth on what? Borrowing. Because most of this infrastructure, apart from the ones built by the Chinese, even with the OIC, we have taken lots of, and we are going to even take more to complete it. We borrowed too much. How can you praise that to be a good economy? They say Boston revenue collection. What revenue collection it is?
No.
It is from the poor, small, medium businesses that should be in fact incentivized for them to be more productive.
Yeah.
And government can collect in volume rather than in a restricted these things. We all know I can tell you all the big businesses are not paying their fair share of tax. All the senior individuals in the civil service are not paying their fair tax. And because their salaries are structured in a way that their allowance is more than their salary, and their allowances are not taxed, but their salary is taxed. Just as you pointed out, I explained in the case of Dr. Janneh. Dr. Janneh's basic salary is $14,000, but his allowances is over $100,000.
Yes, definitely.
How can that be? Now he is earning over almost $120,000, but he's paying $2,000 in tax.
Definitely.
You see, people in minute management who are not been incentivized with allowances are poorer. They pay more tax contribution. It's the same thing happening with our National Assembly. That's why they have all form of allowance: clothing allowance, car allowance, robbing allowance, professional allowance, sitting allowance, every allowance.
Yeah.
Why
because there's no tax for them. Yes.
Now, if they talk about revenue collection, that's what they referring to. And that's why the poor people are getting poorer, and the 1% privilege are better off. Now they can afford to pay private medical, they can afford their kids to go to private school, they can afford to even fly out because of their medical insurance and everything else. But the average Gambians don't have that. We have seen our public school system, we have seen our hospitals, we have seen other services, but primarily you can even afford the basic commodities in order to survive. The same government put it in their budget estimate that civil servants' allowance is going to be raised. Guess what? They haven't.
No.
And imagine, what does this GDP? What anybody have to try? Celebrate in this?
I don't know.
And the other, Ebrima, the other point is here. What is the point of collecting all this revenue when it's not going to be used judiciously?
Yeah.
All this corruption we witnessed. All the corruption in every institution. We had how millions have been spent in Edward Francis Small Hospital. But NAWIC and other places and public institutions and everything else is, we've seen the waste. You have a GDP growth, but you cannot even afford to buy vehicles, but you have to take it and borrow again. And in that borrowing those vehicles, 100 vehicles should be, no, you have been delivered 87 vehicles. You have stolen how much? And if the prices are inflated, that is what the facts are. Investing in infrastructure, with infrastructures, the critical infrastructure, the blood, which is the energy sector, 32 million from OIC, no impact.
No, not.
They increased last year. They increased 35%. Unheard of, no improvement. Go and look at the other grants and loans that came from the World Bank and African Development Bank and others. What infrastructure? This is why we have the deficits, because of roads are built. You see, when you say this, they say, "Oh, every community wants roads to be built." But it's the government's responsibility to manage the building of roads, to make sure they are affordable. Because make sure they are strategic. There's no point building roads that will cost so much millions when the people around those roads don't even have water to drink. They don't have water for their agriculture. Who is going to use those roads? Senegalese will just use the roads to connect from the north to the south.
Yes.
Go and see how many vehicles are using those roads a year. I'm not saying roads should not be built, but there are roads that should be built first, and those roads should be able to pay for themselves, so that from those proceeds we build other roads from the profits or from the economic growth that or activities from that to others. But we cannot keep on borrowing everywhere else. There's our political projects.
Brother Ben, because is also an avenue for kickbacks. These contracts and all those things. All people are getting richer. You spend only about 30% on the road, and 70% goes to individual.
And finally, these people said, because of this growth, strengthening regional trade. And what are we exporting? What are we exporting? We're not even exporting agriculture. What are we exporting? We are importing poultry. We are importing red meat. We are importing cereal. We are importing rice. We are importing
onions. We are importing
onions and everything else.
Yes.
Cement, we are importing. Right now, they're trying to bring an embargo. Guess what? There's shortage of cement in the Gambia, and because they say they have an industry, it's a lie. I said it was a lie. The minute they put the high levy, and the people importing from Senegal stop, guess what happened? Shortage and prices are going up.
And we need to emphasize, a lot of people get emotional when it comes to Senegal, because Senegalese are protecting their industry against an import that we buy from China or India or wherever it is. Bring it back in the Gambia and flood the Senegalese market with those things. Those are not Gambian products.
No.
If these are Gambian industries in the Gambia, and when it comes to water, somebody told me about water also. I said, your quality of your water is poor. Senegalese told you, you have to up your game to have a good water system. You don't want to bombard.
Give me this. How can you produce water in the Gambia, bottle it and everything, and take it to Senegal and make profit, and compete with water produced in Senegal?
Yes, it doesn't make sense.
That's a lie. No, they advance these excuses to try to protect their patrons. Alaji, how can you debate? I have seen educated Gambians say that, Senegal doesn't even allow a cup of sugar. Gambia doesn't produce sugar. We don't have a sugar industry. Senegal has a sugar industry in Richard Toll. I've been there. They have from the farm to the factory. Now you want them to what? Not protect that?
Yeah. Buy sugar from China, bring it Gambia, and go and bombard their market with it.
Why would they allow that?
No.
Until we can produce something, it doesn't make sense.
Ben, we are going to come and listen to Ebrima's audio, so 8 minutes, and you can analyze it very soon. But Open Gambia wrote that there's an allegation of conflict of interest against the Chief Justice of the Gambia, Hassan Jallo, and when it comes to Hassan Jallo, only few people talk about Hassan Jallo. That much respect with them, but there are reports that are trickling down that are not something that the hype, the respect that people have for him. He should conduct himself like that, because not only is an intellectual, he represents Gambia all over the place, but he's an elderly statesman, and he's a Chief Justice. But if these things are coming, and those are things that we need to raise eyebrow, because he is not only the Chief Justice, but he is the Khalifa General of the Sofi Tijaniya Order of Bansa, So, and there are people, as we know, who are supporting this, who are giving them this money there, and even the president will go there and sit with you and all those things. Brother Ben, give us an analysis, a synopsis of what you write on Open Gambia concerning this allegation in court. Yeah.
You see, Ebrima, that's why I said Gambians. What I do, it's not easy.
No.
Because of anytime I write, anytime Open Gambia. And you see, Gambians cannot differentiate Open Gambia and Ben Suwareh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ben Suwareh is the face of Gambia, but I have a team.
Yes.
I just come with something. And in my team, there are lawyers who have 40 years experience. I have a lawyer within my team that have 40 years experience, who doesn't practice in the Gambia, who is practiced in international. He doesn't need the money or anything. He's not into any political party or any politics. Never have been. When we receive information, we have to investigate. And let me emphasize we. I'm not taking credit for everything.
Yes.
Open Gambia came because of necessity. That there are things happening and no, it's not been covered. That's where the word open comes in. That's why we use the word open. We want to create an open society where we have this thing, and it's like a whistleblower platform. But we are not stupid, we are responsible. When information comes in, we don't run with it.
Yeah.
You never see me run with something. Everything I have published have been vindicated. It will come out to be true. I know it's already true, but for other people that did not know, might say, oh, this might be far-fetched. But people that know me would not have no interest to do that. When we received the information, we went to investigate. And I said, it's a difficult thing to do. As you said, Alhaji Hassan Diallo is not only the Chief Justice, but he's the Khalifa General of the Syrian movement. And Ebrima, I can tell you, my family from Bakau are part of that congregation.
You see,
my nephew is named after the father. Technically, we are related.
We are family, yes.
My brother-in-law is Hassan's brother. My brother, intermarried, we are related. Put it that way. But even within the team, my team, the lawyer is related to Hassan Diallo. I put it that way.
Yeah.
From his mother's side. When we got the report, the reason we got the report is I made a program months ago when I observed during the president tour, November, I think. Chief Justice Hassan Diallo received Barrow at Bansan under his Khalifacy. When I looked at it, look, we have to hold the system accountable.
And we have to hold the system accountable, definitely.
Because of, the Chief Justice, it's another arm of our government.
Yes.
To check the executive.
Yes.
And for the legislature to resolve when they have a dispute with the executive. You might say he have the one. People would say the legislature have the most important role.
Yes.
But when there's an election dispute, where is it resolved? Is it not to the court?
Is it the court? Yes.
Then technically, in fact, the legislature would not be the most important. Now, when I saw that, I realized his position as a Khalifa General might be conflicting. His role as Chief Justice. Because right now, what seeing him with the president would make some members of the opposition uneasy.
Yes. And rightly so. Yes.
But this is my point. And that's something we dealt with. But again, as I said, when you present a program, you don't even know other people who listen. Then from nowhere, someone contacted me from the judicial officer, said that last time I came across you making a point, which is very valid, and I think Gambians are not seeing it. And he said, presently, there are 2 cases going which are affected by the role the Chief Justice plays as a Khalifa General and his role as a Chief Justice. And I can tell you, you see how difficult it is even to report it, because I'm related to Hassan one way or the other, and if not even the marriage relationship, it's a faith, it's a kind of a belief of faith that my mother has subscribed to. My father is not, you see, but my sister have, and my other siblings. I can tell you, as a kid, whenever his father comes into Bakau, I have to go and sit on his foot.
Wow.
To be paid for and we collect money. If we kids from Sanjaba goes there because knowing that when they go there they get money, or again because they're going there, I mean the imam from Bansang is here to pray for you. Your parents will take you there.
Yeah, we'll take you there, definitely.
I mean it's a respected order. But one of the people alleged to be advantage called Paliu Jallo, one of these cases.
Yes.
Paliu too is kind of related to me. Not only that we went to the same school, this thing his father was our headmaster. No. My mom's the person that my mom took as a parent in the Bakau. It's the person who they are that family. They're the husband and wife are the ones that brought up Pali's father.
Oh, right. Yeah.
My elder sister is named after that man's wife.
Wow.
My youngest brother, was named after the husband who had the same name as Pali. You can see that. We live together and we term each other as relatives. Alaji, I will not. It's not an easy case to do.
No, it's not an easy case. Definitely, yes.
Naturally, I would not shy away from it. But even if I want to shy away from it with the editorial board, I will be a hypocrite.
You will be, yes.
Because
and it will come out, Brother Ben.
Because no, the people have integrity. They will not allow it.
Yeah.
They will resign. And they will blow the whistle. Because most of the time, their family members are held accountable. This is how the public interest, prompt our personal interest to safeguard our justice system, safeguard our democracy. Then we went to the investigation. 5 members within the judiciary were interviewed. Yes, I conducted the interview. And I have the experience to analyze information and to see where it is, but not enough. After my analysis, it had to go through legal. And the legal, gave their blessing and in fact gave a brief to explain because of this, because of that. And one of the cases why Paliu Jallo case, he said, yes, it's established, it happened. That he was involved in a trial because he sacked his unfairly or claimed, and it was taken to court. And in the court, Paliu misbehaved. He was arrogant, he was rude.
He was very rude, according to the report, yes.
Right. And that is a contempt to court. For the magistrate to fine him $100,000 it's a serious case.
It's a serious one, yes.
Then that's a fact, it happened. Now, when we checked it, instead of Paliu appeal the case to the appeal courts, Paliu decided to go and report the magistrate for a judicial complaints body. Now, the magistrate have no motive, would not have a motive to find him because it's not common to her.
Definitely.
And if he had not behaved that way, the magistrate would not have any point of law to reprimand him. Now, if he did not agree with that, it's for this is what our lawyer said. It is for the appeal courts to deal with. That I've been treated unfairly. But he went and report that obviously the magistrate have been vindictive. Now, as I said, we established that Paliu, his family, subscribed to the same Tijaniya order as my family.
Yeah.
It's a fact. Whether Paliu donates or not, that's an allegation.
Yeah, that's an allegation.
We cannot prove that. The only Paliu we can prove that is them saying it. But the relationship have been established. But again, why would Paliu have the audacity
Exactly.
Not to go to the thing, but decided to report to the judicial decision.
And the rudeness, the arrogance in the court,
and the
only few people will have the audacity to do
the third
it.
bit we looked at.
Yeah.
The allegations is that the lawyer for Pa Ali refused to represent him and advise him negotiate for a payment to structure the payment, but Pa Ali was arrogant and this I can pay and went unpaid and put the complaint. The lawyer was invited by the Chief Justice and discussed the case, but the lawyer was not invited by the panel.
Wow. Wow.
Now, again, the information came that the lawyer even have put himself that he want to go to the panel of the disciplinary panel to explain, because he's not happy that his client is taking this should be taken to the appeal courts, which he was not willing to do. Pali is appealing for the verdict on the unfair dismissal, but he did not go. Why did he not go to the appeal court?
Exactly.
And the other case, the first one we explained. Yes. The judges were named and registered. Judges were named that they are the one that made the allegations. And for the public interest, we have to report it.
Definitely.
Because we looked at the possibility of it. Now, we cannot, the burden of proof is not on us. It's a whistleblower thing. We are agitating for an investigation.
For an investigation.
And those, investigation can do it. And this is what it is.
And Yayaba and TK Moto also, that's also another
That's the one I'm talking about. Yes. Where the case have been delayed, then the case have been going on for years. And now the case has been passed to a foreign judge. Now, that's why we said that we are going to follow to see what the foreign judge is going to do. These are not allegations that just come out of thin air.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I have respect for you, definitely. And Hassan Diallo should recognize his position. Some of these things are going to come out and people are going to talk about it, like how we talk about Barrow issue or anybody. Nobody is too powerful or above the law in the country. We all need to be held accountable for our decision, especially, and to allow politicians, Barrow, to go and visit him all the time as a Khalifa. He should be really.
I can tell you.
Yes.
I visited Hassan years ago, about years ago when, about 8 years ago when before he became Chief Justice. I visited him and we spent the entire day in Watford.
Wow.
Because we are family.
We are family, definitely.
Like, Ebrima, I visited Hassan. We sat and spent the entire day in Watford. There are people in Watford that knows about that. I don't subscribe to the Janneh order, but I understand the respect given to him. Yeah. The respect given to his dad. Yes. And he represents his dad. And because of my family subscribing to that, I went there. I didn't go there for to be blessed or anything else, but for that respect, because I don't believe in any sectarianism.
Brother Ben, I'm going to play Ebrima Dibas because I want to also wrap this by 30:30 so that you can have a quick analysis anyway. Ebrima Dibas audio so that Gambian, because a lot of Gambians don't even hear the audio. They didn't know what they're saying. I saw people who are just kind of saying, no, it's an insult, big insult. He needs to be locked. But of course, let's hear. And after, it's 8 hours, but it's 8 minutes. But
I think it's important to play it, and you can do the analysis because you speak a better Manika. Volume up.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Good morning to you.
Sorry.
Ay mo fere so sa nalalia. Ay mo fere so sa nalalia. Mol felendi boy de bela kun ko fita kan. Ibna ba seno ka saba. Po janni bela tiola la baskilo kan ka paswar. Ya mo fere so sa nalalia. Inyanta e wala fo Gambian ko liye. Gambia Farmers Association al president baro ñinin ka mun feerele be laari nga bulu abe men kele Sénégal ye be mun kele Sénégal ye be jambando sifaji male sambala nang anda dabe kele muneti fanan wala kummayal abe ñum kunta ya tamo menna ebe nafulo min pasar kanje ebe ñum kodi be tiña kanje ndengamira ñante wo kodo mabalale nin seno sida nin Sénégal yel tiol sene yel tiol sang e kan yel tiol donto wala ñante kala albe ñin tamo min bela ngamira nale jambando sang al yadi Sénégal la pour ye famma ko yala wala kuma yata than telling people ka for 2026 President Adam Barrow menna ko mo sen kanna ko manda fulay ni Gambian ko sartita wala la ete fongale Gambia la kodota the taxpayers money 116,000 ye ñinin ka lafta mu ne la e koy ko lafta ñin bara be kuma mu minti man say maralo ki jam manda fula ye ji do fana na ye ñaka su wolu akurul min bige be tamaka walla pour que fam sementu yandi na fahamina diya modo ko be lola le baro te to ñaadi te lola way te lola ibe danna manda fula le ji do yana mo te mo marala jam more than 2 times ke ye ji in palaso manke mo bala keta na ful palaso manke mo fala keta na ful palaso banko la palaso banko di wala famena wala nyata kala ido nyolu Sénégal wala la Sénégal la pol prendre le cabrin sain ya fa mo defé jambando da jindilal ye ñun agriculture minister mi yalan ka fa man fellon sene kuto amman fem faham sene kuto al ya be politikoti anin ka yanda molla na fulola bari kumo be dame ni fang suman ko be lolale for the third time in that country you have a social contract with Gambians and you should honor it. Ni market we will demand for you to step down after your second term, which is our constitutional right. Ni la fayda soldier will fintindi yela paramilitary fintindi yela kidol soso ye molu fa ye tama fure wol kan yeta state house okono but ite lola jam na kela that is not right. You cannot abuse the system. You cannot abuse the bad constitution me and God be we demand for a new constitution. You ignore it for your personal interest and your personal gain. We be done nale ite lola tatam ni ko be lola tatam Senegal ye ñenke mbewole kela nga findi nga demonstrate mi be fala wala fa mi be balula wala balu nga Gambia ken do soto you are capable but yet still yet 2-term dealer in a lack of capability ite wo impose la mol kan ye mol maraban ko man ka takan balu be kolayari kol man sono ya albetta pale ya ni tilimbal ya mina be dangale ite lola iko be lola be fintilale and we will demonstrate min balu da way balu min fada way fa ba ite be boda jel min de Senegal na jele ma ki ka be constitutional manipulate la Senegal de bol findi da Gambia di wal pare aliyafa hanin te sonna moye mara mol mara for 2 term imane jiko min be Senegal anin tilewoni tonya min be tamaka Senegal fana lafta wala Gambia president Barrow manu ana la mol be abe men fo kan to nyaate fani yalemu. It's not true. I tell Lord that more than 2 times. More than 2 times more money than the president Baroni back at more money. Yemen Africa and G doina. Alman Senegal the quarter podono. Palo the collier and motor podono. Corruption of a father the Masakunda. Tilimbalia the father the Masakunda. Nietela Fete or Damajel. Nietela Cato Damajel. I'll be among the people who are going to stand up against your third term in that country. Ibe minkele yake. Dole naza de ye molu fa. Ye molu soron. Ye molu bute. Ye molu mudani. Ni fanan lafta ye oke. Ni ma wasa sanita maradona. Ise mol malaye farin kola. I tell you more than 2 times. Gambian call I Kukuno. I know what can. Kafai call no more 2 times. Munazina. It ain't the more than 2 times. Further than demand. Ibeni Yayo in the different test can me. Gambian call and Fade William no more 2 times. No more 2 times. More than 2 times. Tatara. Only 2 times. I'm sorry. No more nyetal manda. Nyari manda nga wacha kenen yow. Yow yaay kan nga di wax ne da nga taxawal election pour lan. Nyari manda nga fi def nga wacha na kenen ñew koku tam def nyari manda. Li nga mun yépp def nga ko. Li nga munut a def sen nyari manda yi do ko mëna defal. Li sarta boo xam ne loolu lañ fi teg te loolu moo fi war a am ku def ñaari mandat nga waata na keneen ñëw soo bëggul loolu nag ñun duñ la nangu duñ la bàyyi nga jàlla si ñettal mandat mbe wala fole soma Gambian kolu ali be ñi muta ali bulo kono ko mo manyana mol marala more than 2 times for President Barrow for Jimalem ba na be min kala yake wassalam.
Thank you so much. That's the voice of Ebrima, ever-present Ebrima Diba, and that's the contention that is here, as we know, because other than this audio, we don't know anything else, and it seems government is still backtracking. There's nothing that is comfort, but in essence, what he is saying is he calls on President Barrow about this going around tour that is going on. You know, we are almost in the raining season now. The first rain has come in the Gambia. You know, he was saying you should go to the farmers, the poor farmers. Their peanuts were not bought. You know, last year we know the chaos that result, and so because of the catastrophic mismanagement that happened, you know, tell the farmers, you know, what kind of fertilizers are they going to have? How many? What are going to be the prices of their fertilizers? What are the plans? What are the motivations that are lay for those farmers comes this raining season coming? You know, those are the things Ebrima believe President Barrow should discuss to the farmers, since this is a meet the farmers to meet the people to whatever name you like, however unnecessary it is, you know, before wasting money unnecessarily. You know, the injustice, the corruption that is happening in the Gambia is intolerable. So those are the issues that you should talk about. Instead, now you are talking about the 3rd time to go in for the 3rd time that President Barrow has been going on. This is a response to President Barrow's, you know, meet the people tour, the incendiaries comments and all those things. And he said Gambians should not allow that because there are about 116,000. That is the draft constitution that has been going on. And Gambians put their opinions all over the country at different levels. Gambians spoke. And they say they want 2 terms. That constitution have been thrown into a trash bin. Now Ebrima is saying that is the voice of the Gambians, and that has to be ensconced. President Barrow, based on that, the social contracts on people shouldn't go beyond the 3rd term. When he decided to go to 3rd term, Gambians, in essence, including himself, are going to stand like how Passive did it in Senegal, complain, to demonstrate, and tell Barrow to only stop at 2 terms, that's about 10 years, not to go, because Gambians, that's a social contract that Gambians deserve. And it is Gambians' constitutional right to demonstrate. In essence, this is what he is saying. He said, Tama Kuntango in Mandinka, that means going round unnecessarily, because it's not necessary.
Like a headless chicken.
Yes, to Tama Kuntango, going round and all those things, you don't have the capability. We all know Barrow don't have the capability. So there's nothing there that I think is so foul a language to the extent of arresting demand, because demonstrations are people's constitutional right. Anybody can demonstrate if you don't agree with anything, especially what Gambians has expanded on the draft constitution and all the agreement unanimously, or larger bulk of the Gambians believe 2 terms is what Gambians should do. And he said people will come out and demonstrate. If you are going to kill them, kill them. You can walk on their dead bodies to go to State House. You will rule them when they are all dead. There are presidents that came and beat people, president that unjustifiably maltreat people, kill people, but they are not there today. So that is not going to bar them from their demonstration. Even your soldiers will come in large number with their weapon and kill people, but people will come out and make sure you don't go for the 3rd term. These are some of the things you should talk about in terms of, he is referring to farming, helping farmers, the farming community, the farmers association. Talk to them, tell them this is what you're going to do for them, because raining season is coming, or rather than going around and talk about division, talk about your militants attacking people, talking about all these things that are unnecessary in the wake of the current situation in the Gambia. Brother Ben, in a nutshell, this is what, so I didn't see anything. What's your take there, briefly? So that
Ebrima, first of all, we have to establish, as you said, there is no word that can be construed. I'm not only saying there's plain, even a word to be construed. Then what is the motive of the people that invited him? The police. Because when they listen to it, the person who must want to invite him must have understand the language.
Exactly.
And when they listen to it, why would you want to invite him? For what?
And detain him for almost 3 days now, yes.
It's a non-starter. Then tells you the motive then. Why would he do it? Because from the top, there's instruction to do it. Ebrima, all these people, were acting against the freedoms of Ebrima. Diba. They know that he has not committed any crime.
Definitely.
But it's a shame to people like Dr. Sise trying to come out to defend this.
Yeah.
Just expose the person who is. I'm not going to touch even the others. Just Dr. Sise, who is new into it, that he will be held accountable.
Yeah.
Now, why did Ebrima even respond? Who is Ebrima? Ebrima is a senior member of executive party, political party. If he did not say this, who should say it?
Exactly.
You see, I keep on saying this. If Gambian politics was vibrant, I don't like politics. People don't believe it. I like to engage in conversation. I like, talking about lots of other things. I would have withdrawn from engaging in that and engage in other stuff. But it's a big vacuum. If Ebrima come out to speak, he should be congratulated for doing that.
He should be congratulated, definitely.
Then it makes you wonder, why are the opposition, why are civil society silent? Why is the Human Rights Commission silent? First, they have not reacted on what President Barrow has said by insult, by threatening. Now, if you look at the context of what Ebrima has said, it's directly responding to this thing without committing any flaw.
No.
When Ebrima said, "You will kill us,"
yes,
who have threatened to kill them? Because if you said, "I have the army, I have the even economic you own," What are you telling us?
Yes.
If you're telling them, go and attack them.
Yes. And you said, the 3-year journey, you pour hot water on them, what you did them, koboto kuliata, birini mata nyola koboto kuna jamala kwa yede. So all those, yes.
Then we have seen the potential that you have the potential to do that. Now, if he responds to that, because you are the one that came and said, go and attack them. He said that if you attack us and kill us, just ask what happened in Senegal. We all know what happened in Senegal. The opposition did not go and kill people.
No.
Instead, the opposition was killed because they stood for what they believe in. He's saying that we're going to do the same thing. If we come out, we're going to stand for what we believe in. We're not going to let you. And that is democratic.
Definitely.
Demonstration. It's a right. What offense is that? You are the one who threatened to kill them. They said, we'll come out and you kill us. But we come out. We're not going to let you get away with it.
And we are all applauding Senegalese for coming out and being killed. But at the end of the day, they have what they wanted.
That's what he said.
Exactly.
Now, how can anyone deduct an insult from this or disrespect or anything?
Nothing. No.
Even who provoked a response? Who provoked a response? I mean, how can anyone be serious to say that? Or anyone to say that, oh, I'm waiting for the outcome, legal outcome. You know that it's only fraudulent. What are we waiting for the outcome? What outcome are you waiting for? Because you don't want to defend it. You're encouraging it. You are in support of the suppression. What? It's the same as when Madi Jubat was arrested. I said, there's nothing out there. But look at it. Madi is still reporting. Retaining a lawyer and everything costing him. Is that fair? Is that what he fought for? A democracy he fought for? And Gambians should be even vigilant. We came from a dictatorship. But Gambians should be vigilant. We have seen the temper in Barrow. The Gambians should be vigilant. We have seen the people that did it for Janneh around Barrow. We haven't had the reforms. Not only politicians, but
we have only a minute now. We have only a minute now, to wrap up. Dictatorship is Gambia on a dictatorship now. Is President Barrow a Democrat? He's a quiet man. The evidence is unfolding in front of us. And as we said, Brother Ben, thank you. I think we need to stop it here. And hopefully next Sunday we'll come back again and do more analysis. Hopefully we can have a lot of good news coming from the country, which we doubt it very well. But as I said, huge respect to you. A lot of Gambians has huge respect for you. Some of them don't know you, they don't meet you, they've never met you. It's just your consistency. It's just what you stood for, because there are still people in that country who value integrity, people who value people who are not corrupt, who are not interested to be conflicted. What they want is truth and truth. The case with the Chief Justice just melt my heart. It just give me a huge conviction that there are still people in the Gambia that can move that country. It's not all rotten to the core, even though a lot of things have been rotten, especially at government level. But we have people who have justice, who have dignity, people who stood to save the country as a whole without no tribalism. We don't have any tribalism there to the extent that is going to destabilize that country. Politicians use our divisions, our differences, and weaponize it just to undermine, to save themselves up, so that they can keep looting our resources. What is happening there in terms of corruption, in terms of lies, in terms of divide and rule, in terms of anything that we know negatively, that is only going to retrograde Gambia back, going to retract Gambia's progress. That is what is happening in the Gambia. But at the end of the day, nobody is powerful. Not the army, not the militaries, not the police, not the PIA. The Gambians people are the most powerful people in that country. And this is left to the Gambians. Anybody in that country got only one vote to cast. And your vote, that's why at the end of the day, before election, politicians come and cringe and crawl for you, so that they can get that one vote from you, because they know how powerful you are as an individual. When you come together, you can change the destiny of that country. You can change the trajectory of that country. And our leaders will be fearful because they know if they don't deliver, they are going to be booted out of power. And when they are booted out, they are going to be stripped away from anything that they are boasting that make them that omnipotent state or that are portraying for you. So for that being the case, the ball is in your court, Gambians. What is going on in that country? Everybody, every Gambian know that's not the right thing for a country that's going to go, in terms of development. That's not the trajectory that country is. So for that being the case, thank you once again to our listeners all over the world. Thank you, Gunjur Online Management. Thank you, Ben Suwareh, as always. And hopefully we will come here and converge next Sunday and make more of this analysis and discussion. Thank you all and greetings, and have a very, very, very best night, and enjoy the rest of the sunshine. Hopefully it will be sunny tomorrow in England and all over the world. Greetings to you, my brothers in the Gambia and Gambians all around the world. Thank you once again.